Welcome to the Healthy Metal Hippie Podcast, where art and wellness collide. Well, hi and welcome back. Today we are here with my friend Immy. Immy is an incredible musician to start with. Let's just start there. You play what? How many instruments? You play harp, you play bass, you play a lot of stuff, don't you?
That's the ones I sort of classify that I can play, but I can play like other instruments, but I've never had a lesson. I can just, get a sound out of it. If I want to play something, I could play it on them. Classically trained only in 4, but then I taught myself.
Only in 4?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, but that's extremely impressive, and a lot of people aren't even classically trained in 1.
So I've been very, very lucky because I've had, music lessons since the age of 4, and just, every sort of opportunity I've been able to take, which has been so very, very lucky to be in that position.
I love that. We met thanks to the darkness, a love of the darkness, the band, not the anything else. It's always so nice when you run into people and you make friends through different fandoms. And I think that the darkness actually has such an amazing fandom and support group overall.
Yeah, I haven't got as many friends in other fan bases as the darkness. So many of my friends I have met from the darkness fan community, and I know it's just something about that community. Everyone gets on so well, and everyone's so welcoming and supportive, and just really, really lovely people. I cannot believe I lived my life without some of these people before I met them. It's just really, really lovely people.
So true. I mean, I have lots of friends from kind of the Aerosmith and the Alice Cooper fandoms and things like that. And I'm happy that I've added the darkness to the list of them. Okay, so you started on your musical journey when you were 4. What did you start playing first? And how did that happen? Was it something that was important to your parents that you got into? Or was it Mom, I want to play blah or whatever? Because that happens too, right?
Yeah, I've never ever been pushed in to do anything, which is very nice. I've just always been supported in what I want to do, which is lovely. But yeah, I started with the harp at 4, and that came about because my mum always wanted to play the harp, and she was a teaching assistant at the school that I was at in reception. She got offered free harp lessons with some other teachers after school. So I had to sit in those lessons and watch the lesson, and then I go Mum, I'd really like to play too. Got my fingers on a harp for the first time when I was 4, but started having lessons when I was 5. And then, literally haven't stopped since, which is kind of crazy to think. I've literally gone almost every single day playing a harp for 20 years, which is kind of crazy.
You know what? It's one of those instruments I think too that everybody loves, and they're just kind of completely mesmerized for a number of reasons. But you don't meet a lot of harpists, You
have to be very fortunate with the sort of opportunities you come across. And with it, buying a concert harp is expensive, and not everyone can get their own concert harp, which is a shame. And then obviously you can hire them, which is, if you have someone local to you who would hire it, it's just not very accessible, I don't think. But there are different sort of schemes in place to make it a more accessible instrument, which is lovely. But I don't think it's very financially accessible, which is a shame, a real shame, because it is a stunning instrument. And I don't think it's not a very difficult instrument to play. But I don't, I'd say that because I think the difficult part of it, I did when I was tiny, and things come easier to you when you're tiny, and I can't remember it. So I don't remember the struggle of initially learning the instrument. I think it's a lovely instrument to play because no matter what you play on it, it sounds nice. It's not like violin, you have to master your bow technique to make it sound scratchy. Whereas harp, you can just play whatever and it sounds great.
I never really thought about that, but yeah, it's very easy to make a violin sound horrible. But I guess, yeah.
No offense to a violinist.
Because, no, of course not. But is it difficult, just to make it sound not horrible? At least there's always beauty coming out of a harp. Because there's something that just seems I know it's magical, it's otherworldly. You talk about financial accessibility to it, but I also think there is that it is magic. So it is like, it seems not accessible in that way too. Must be something from the heavens or that you're able to play it. Maybe I'm just overthinking it, but honestly, I just think it's amazing. I don't know anybody else who plays harp. So how about that?
You can often say I'm the best harpist in the room because you're the only one. You always have that little flex up your sleeve. You have like low self-esteem that day. Like, well, at least I'm the best at harp here because I'm the only one.
Yeah, I guess that's true. You do a lot of covers, right, on your harp?
Not so many recently because I've just not had time to do it, but there's so much that I want to do and just haven't had time to do it, which is a shame. But when I have had time, I like to do sort of like the acoustic kind of songs you might hear on some metal albums. I'm working on some heavier stuff, but turning that into a harp too. I'll put it out there one day.
I think it's such a different take. I mean, you see that like, what if this Taylor Swift song was a metal song? Which is like, okay, that's cool too. But you're like, let me take the metal and make it harp. And that you don't see.
I think it's maybe the rarity of like what we were saying earlier about you don't really see that many, but also like the high juxtaposition between the genres, I suppose. Whereas you like your Taylor Swift song as metal, like that's of interest because of the juxtaposition. That the harp is very extreme.
Yeah, and it makes it even better. I mean, I think the Taylor Swift, it makes it more accessible because people will be like, whoa, Taylor Swift is metal. And so the Swifties will love it and the metalheads will love it.
Yeah.
But the metalheads might go, what's going on with this on harp? But I also think that they'll love it too.
Yeah, I've seen like a lot of cello covers of, I suppose because you've got like two cellos and you've got Apocalypta, who I love them so much. So obviously like that's of interest too, is like a classical instrument playing sort of that genre of music. When you have like this whole, there was this Brighton Black thing going on in, I think it was in Sweden, and they got like loads of metal musicians to compose a piece for orchestra. So I think there's like loads of things out there where the interest in sort of the two extremes, like the two genres combining, is definitely of interest for sure.
I also think there's so many metal artists that are classically trained as well, whether it's like in vocals or it is in guitar or whatever it may be. So even though they seem to be like the furthest away from each other, they're actually quite intertwined, I think.
I think there's definitely a strong parallel between like classical music and particularly prog. Obviously, I'd say that as a massive prog fan, but I think the sort of the structure and the way about songs composed, you don't necessarily need that classical background to compose it. Like it comes from instinct, but there is definitely parallels between the two where they follow sort of the same rules, whether it's advertently or not. But it's something about them both that's appealing to me for sure.
Can you repeat all of the instruments that you play again? Because I'm like, okay, I've just lost track.
Harp, flute, and piano. My lessons at school. I went to music college at the age of 12. And then I got offered free recorder lessons at music college because it's an endangered instrument. You wouldn't think it, but no one wants to play a recorder because they think it's, primary school children and squeaky plastic recorders. But recorders actually stunning. Like as soon as you get the sound out of like a wooden recorder and with good technique, if you listen to professionals play, it's beautiful instrument, and everyone just hears recorder and starts laughing and don't take it seriously. So it's a great instrument and it does need to be taken seriously. But yeah, I got offered free lessons on a recorder, which is very, very nice. And then I picked up bass when I was 12. I got my first bass when I was 13, but my dad had a left-handed bass when he was 18. It just like lived in the garage. So I like started on that, but it was left-handed and I'm right-handed. So first sort of 6 months of me learning bass, it was upside down, which was, I suppose, fine to like get the feel of it. And because I hadn't had anything else, it was what it was. So it was okay. And then I got my first bass when I was 13. That was great. And then guitar, I think I got a guitar for my 15th birthday. So I always wanted to play because because I just like really wanted to play like Van Halen and stuff. The first thing I tried to learn on guitar was Eruption. Obviously epically failed, thought, oh, I'm shit at guitar, didn't really pick it up ever again until I went to uni, and then I sort of had another sort of go at it when I was kind of like 18 maybe, so I'm not very advanced.
But you didn't start with Eruption that time. You didn't start with Eruption that time.
I started with some sort of finger picking kind of thing, because it's holding plectrum. Still, that's my big weakness, is holding a plectrum, because that's just really foreign to me, whereas bass fingers and it's like the harp, so it sort of feels way more natural.
I play a bit of bass and I played a bit of guitar too. But yeah, for me, it's picking as well. I like that feeling of your fingers.
It feels a lot.
Maybe I should play the harp too.
You should come around and have a go. Yeah, I think you really like it. Honestly, everyone thinks it's a difficult instrument, but I think it's simple. I think it's okay to learn. Like, I think piano's harder than harp, because obviously, like, you've got pedals. Not everyone knows this, but on a concert harp, you've got pedals, and that changes all your flats. So, like, your black notes on the piano essentially are determined by pedals. So, if you're playing a scale on the harp, you set your key signature with your feet, and then you just play same fingering, starting note up and down. So easy. Piano, like, if you're playing a piece in D major, you've got to remember all of those C and F sharps, and I don't have the memory for that. It's just something which never clicked with me, and like doing different fingerings for different scales is just something which just felt wrong and challenging when I have another instrument which is really easy to do that on. It makes way more sense to me.
That does sound like it makes more sense. I played piano. I wanted to learn drums, and my mum said you have to learn piano before you can learn the drums. So I took a couple of years of piano, and I wish I would have stuck with it, but I was like, I hate this, and I never was allowed to play the drums. But yeah, so I can understand exactly what you mean from piano front, and now you are making harp sound a lot easier than I thought it was. I also did not know, and you're 100% right about the recorder. Everybody goes, haha, recorder. Like, what, you play hot cross buns. That's what we had to learn on recorder in the 4th grade. I don't know if you guys play that here. Do you play hot cross buns when you were like in primary? Okay, cool. And then I didn't know if that was just like a Canadian American thing. I think in my brain, I didn't even realize that people like actually play it. And so now I want to hear all the recorder stuff.
I was thinking about, like, the last maybe 5 years, I've been thinking of doing a full instrument cover of In Dulce Jubilo, but like the Mike Oldfield version. Never got around to it because I think I need to do drums first. But only yesterday, I decided to finally get Moises, so I can just isolate the drum track in that and then replace everything else with my stuff. So where it's held me back previously, now I don't have an excuse anymore. I've got to do it.
Yeah, I think you do. It's funny because I've had these thoughts too about making, funny enough, I think it was always like Elvis covers that I wanted to do, but just playing the guitar, singing, doing the drums, playing everything. And yeah, I'm like, that's a lot of work. I think I won't do that, but I think you should, because you have the skills for it. I think you absolutely should make covers like that. And I'm always fascinated by all of the things that you post, like when you are playing, and whether that is bass or whether it's harp or whatever it is. I just always, since we met, I've always been extremely amazed by you. So
it's just luck of sort of the opportunities you have access to as a child, I think. But it's never too late to obviously pick up an instrument. Like, you just really want to play drums, but I don't have the space for it. Or at the moment, I don't have like the time for it. So I'm like, I barely have time to play the instrument I do have, never mind like start a new one. But yeah, it's all about opportunity, I think, and whether you're just lucky enough to have it. Because everyone, I swear, every single person on the planet is good at music. They just got to like find their instrument. I swear, every single person. Like, you can be tone deaf, but you can play an instrument. Like, you can struggle at one instrument, but you've just not found the right instrument. So everyone is good at music in some shape or form. You just need to find what suits you. And not everyone is lucky to test the waters or just the chance to find what suits them. Obviously, if I was forced to play the piano, then I don't think I'd be musical at all, because there's just not that interest, or it just didn't come naturally. It didn't sort of make sense to my brain, whereas harp just immediately made sense to my brain. And again, I don't know whether it's just sort of the age I started, which sort of influenced that. I don't think it is, though. I think it's complete luck.
I think you're right and I mean, maybe not everybody wants to do music, but I think everybody does have the capacity for it. I think you're completely right about that. I think it's also giving ourselves that internal permission to explore these kind of things. And it's part of discovering yourself, your journey, right?
It's such a an emotional outlet as well. I think you can play a gorgeous piece of music and put all of your sort of feeling and sort of emotions into creating that sort of feeling. I don't know how to explain it, but it's sort of, there's something about when I play the harp, I can literally sort of outpour my heart into the sound, into the people playing, and I feel better once I've played. Whether it's sort of switching off a certain part of your brain, you can't be kind of thinking about loads of stuff. You can't sort of overthink stuff because you're so focused on what you're doing. So it's kind of a great way to switch off one part of your brain while another functions for a little bit. It's very therapeutic.
Yeah, absolutely. You can certainly hear it, right? Even if you think about guitars, you can tell if it's Jimi Hendrix playing something, or you can tell if it's Slash or Eddie Van Halen or whatever, right? You can tell their style of playing and how they sound. Maybe not me, but let's just say I could go and pick up and play it note for note, but it's not going to sound the same. Even if I had the exact same setup and everything else, it's not going to sound the same, because you do pour your heart into it, whatever you're doing, if you're passionate about it. And that's one of the most special parts about music. And that it can be just such a healing tool.
And then obviously, when you go and see your favorite artists, you then meet people who are like-minded, like you and I are, and you have that sort of deeper connection where you just get on better with people. Sure, you like the same band, but so many of my Darkness friends, for example, we don't like the same music beyond just the Darkness. So it's not even necessarily kind of music that we have in common. We have a band in common, but there's something about what we both like in that particular band where we just get on really, really well. We just understand each other on a different level. I think it's very, very lucky to find people on that level.
Yeah, and I agree. It's on a cosmic level that you just connect with people and you find them and you connect with them, and maybe surface level it looks like it's just a band, but it's not. There's something.
It's really not. No, honestly,
there's threads that go so much deeper.
Mm-hmm. There is. So I don't know if you know Deb, for example. I've met Deb once before, and we just got on so well that one time we met that 2 years later, when she was coming to the UK, we're like, come stay with us. You wouldn't do that normally with anyone else you meet at a show or something. You meet them once. You wouldn't be inviting them around to your house. Yet, you just get that level of friendship and love for each other that you feel so trusting, and you are friends on a deeper level where you can just go and invite them around your house even though you've only met them once before.
Yeah, and it feels right. You just know that these are your people.
Yeah, we are lucky, for sure. Because it's not every single person in the community. It's a lot of people in the community, for sure. But yeah, it is luck who you meet in that community. You sort of need that access. At least for me, I feel like I need to know a couple of people in the room in order to feel confident to introduce myself to people. If I don't know someone, I don't feel confident introducing myself, and therefore making friends. I'd kind of need to have a foot in the door to have sort of a safety net around me of people who I know and people I'm friendly with to then talk to other people who are sort of also in that room, I suppose. I don't know if that makes sense, but
no, it totally makes sense. It's like you have a few people holding you up, right, when you enter. Yeah. And it's a good thing, right? Because then you know that you're in a safe space. You've kind of mentioned it a couple times since we've been talking, but is confidence and self-esteem, is that something that you've struggled with in the past?
For sure, yeah. I'm still not confident. I don't think I'm way, way, way better, off the scale better than what I was. And honestly, I think the Darkness community is something which has majorly contributed to that, because it has given me that access to meet friends Like, whereas I just didn't get on with people at school because my teenage self goes like, I'm not going to be friends with anyone who doesn't know who Ozzy Osbourne was. So therefore, everybody at my school, I'm like, no, I won't be your friend. But it's like, you need that sort of like similar interest. Like, I can't be friends with someone who's never heard of Ozzy Osbourne. For heaven's sake, can't. This is not.
That's
not
kind of fair, though.
I can't. We're too different. Too different. Not excluding everybody, obviously. I do have friends who probably don't know Ozzy Osbourne, but at that age, I was a bit sort of, closed-minded. I was like, no, I need friends who like the same stuff as me. Know anyone. So I kind of went through school kind of friendless, which is probably why I'm like so close to my mum and my dad, because we do like all the same stuff and we have that sort of relationship where we are friends. We're not just parent and child. We enjoy each other's company. We have the same interests. We enjoy spending time together and doing what we both love together. So yeah, going to gigs, obviously I go to a lot of gigs with my mum because the bands we have in common are around, whereas like I also have a lot of bands who I love, who my dad also loves, but they're like Pink Floyd and Rush, for example, who like they don't tour anymore, right. So therefore we can't go and see them and meet other people. But yeah, I suppose that's sort of having her around for like maybe like going and socializing is like that sort of safety net again of sort of knowing some people, and therefore you start speaking to one person, you then meet loads of other people, and then it just keeps increasing exponentially. Like every single Darkness tour I go on, I make so many more friends and more friends and more friends, and now I'm kind of feeling like at capacity, like I cannot remember everyone's names anymore, and I feel terrible because I want to put I want to put into a friendship. I don't want to sort of have like a surface level kind of friendships with acquaintances. I want to know and care about that person, and that's kind of getting to a scale now where it's like I have so many people and I can't keep up with how many people who I genuinely care about and want to get on with, which crazy, I suppose, because the fandom is so big and there's so many people who I've met, which is lovely. I tangented from your question, sorry.
No, you're totally allowed to. I think that's a big part of it, though. I've had my struggles with both, with self-esteem, with confidence, and showing up for myself, and all sorts of things. But I find over the years, you keep the right people around you. It takes those burdens off, and it makes you feel like, okay, yeah, maybe I can do this. And actually, I'm not as garbage as I tell myself I am sometimes.
When it comes to music, it's like if I make one mistake, no, not good enough. I'm not putting it on the internet. I'm not doing that. Like I had a buzzy note there. I'm not playing that. Not sharing that. I sort of hold myself to such a high level, which I can't achieve. So therefore, when I set myself a boundary, which is unachievable to my level, it might be achievable one day with practice for sure, but right now in sort of the immediate future, not achievable. So therefore, I can take like the turn on it that like, oh, I'm just naturally terrible at this instrument, so I'm not going to waste my time practicing it anymore. I'm not going to call myself a good guitarist, for example. I would never say that. However, I'm like told by friends that like, no, you're really good, and like I don't believe them. But it's nice to hear that, and it does sort of take away that sort of pit of despair that you think you're terrible, and they help heal it a little bit, which is very nice. Very encouraging.
And that's it. Just having good people, they do help heal all those pieces where there's so much self-doubt. And, and even if it means you can take like a little step forward, it's actually a really big step when you can do that.
Yeah. You can like look back, because you probably don't notice it at the time, sort of yourself improving or sort of healing about something, or just sort of getting over something, sort of getting over any hurdle. You don't notice it at the time, and then you just suddenly look back and you see a massive progress. And it's moments like that which is really exciting and encouraging. But you sort of just got to take loads of little steps to get there.
I kind of do like check-ins with myself either every quarter or like every 6 months or whatever it may be, usually every 6 months, and kind of have a check on how everything is going, like in all areas of life. I've had years where I sit there and go, I've accomplished nothing. And you look back and go, oh, well, actually, I achieved 9 out of 10 of my goals. I did this, I did that, I met these people, I went here, I did that, blah, 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 blah. And maybe that's not obviously directly related to music, but in general, it's always so important, I think, that we reflect and look back on everything that we have done instead of like kind of dwelling where we aren't yet, or because it's so easy to be like, but I'm not here. Well, but you're not there anymore either.
Yeah, you get so like tunnel vision almost when you can't take a different perspective from something and sort of view it in a sort of more generic light. You just need to sometimes literally like take a step back and kind of look at your bigger picture. And that's hard to do, but it is like rewarding when you are able to do it and feel that self-encouragement. I think encouragement and self, when you're proud of yourself, for me, that means more than when someone else says they're proud of me, because I'm constantly not good enough for myself. Like, I can be good enough for someone else, but it doesn't really mean much because I'm always telling myself I'm not good enough or I did that wrong. You know, like if you do something embarrassing or you say something slightly wrong and you just turn it over and over and over and over in your mind, and but you stay awake thinking about something embarrassing you did like 12 years ago. No one else is thinking about that. You're so judgmental. Or at least I think I don't know if everyone else is, but I'm so judgmental on myself. I hope that everyone else is the same. In that, like, everyone is so focused on themselves. They're not thinking about other people. They're not thinking about that tiny mishap you did. So it's only you who's kind of doing it and turning it over and sort of dwelling on it. So you've got to really learn to just move on, just let it go, move on, and nothing big will come of these things.
No, and that's it. Even dwell on it for a minute and like use it as your jumping point to just keep getting better, right? And I do think even with what you're saying, there is a fine line just about beating yourself up over and over and over and using it as a way to keep getting better. Because there's a way that you can sit there and you can defeat yourself, or you can be like, you know what? This and this and this, not up to my personal standards. So next time I'm going to do that, that, and that. And that's how we're going to move forward.
Yeah, you've got to flip it and take a different stance on it. Like, you can use those feelings, but in a positive way, and improve on them. There's no point just dwelling on something. You've got to use it to motivate yourself to do something to improve it. Otherwise, you're not helping anyone.
Yes. On another slightly related note, it's the same as do something about it or stop complaining about it, right?
I love that phrase.
It's different, but it's true. It can be applied in the same way, right? You could sit there and say, oh, I'm a shitty guitar player or whatever. Well, practice and get better, or stop complaining.
Yeah, because I've not touched the guitar in 3 months. I can't be complaining because it's like consistency is what makes it. Well, I'll take like 5 hours.
And to be clear, that's not me calling you out at all. I'm just saying,
but it's true
in those situations. Okay, yeah. It is me calling you out. No. But you hear that all the time. Well, it's just this and blah, blah, blah. And then. And it's like, I think you even reach a point where you're tired of listening to yourself talk like that, right? We all have these paths to keep ourselves moving forward. I guess it brings me to the fact that I did want to say, you did mention to me before we even started that you said that you're not creative. And
I'm not.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
So if you're listening to this and you're hearing that I have 6 instruments written down that she plays, and she takes cool music and turns it into harp music, and she's got all these plans to create her own instrumental covers of these songs, but she's not creative. Just remember that. Creativity comes in all different shapes and sizes, though.
Yeah.
You have to remember that, right? And there's this is probably a bad example because we don't really want them to be too creative, but accountants are creative, right? And we don't want them to be too creative because that's when you get into trouble. But it's like lawyers are creative, or, well, I used to be an insurance broker and they're creative too. And it doesn't have to be with writing music or whatever. You have a curious and creative mind, and
Right.
that's what makes you creative. It doesn't mean that you have to be composing giant symphonies for...
Which is what I sold the standard of creative. No, yeah, you're right. I'm being narrow-minded to the word creativity. And there's different ways to be creative, and I do tick those boxes. But I could tick some other boxes. Yeah, I'm not there yet. But I would love to be creative to the extent that I can get... I can write, I don't know, a symphony or an album, something like that.
I think you're well on your way. So my cousin is an actress, okay, and I had her on the podcast a while back, but her father is an artist, like quite well known in Canada. And I remember when he said to me when I was a teenager, "You're an artist." And I was like, "Actually, have you seen me like draw?" That's not art, my friend. But I think about it, and you know, I've had to come to that realization myself that despite the fact that I don't properly play an instrument, I don't paint or draw. I mean, I do write, but I've had to come to the realization that actually I am a hell of a lot more creative than I give myself credit for. And I think it's something that's important that you recognize in yourself, because it's even just a unique way of solving problems and all sorts of stuff.
It's a key to explore. It's like it allows you to give out, same way playing an instrument allows you to release something within sort of any way of being creative. It's the key to being unique, I think. No one else can come up with whatever you are being creative about. Like, creativity is something completely unique to you. And I'm worried that creativity will like kind of die out with the use of AI, because you can use it to get that sort of initial idea, I suppose. You don't have to use it to form your whole masterpiece, but you can use it to plant the seed to then give you more ideas. So it could have a positive spin, but it's also dying things out in that you can say to AI, like, create album artwork for this. And then you've suddenly outed like a whole artist and their creativity and their talent, and someone who's like trying to make a living on a creative career. It's sort of taking that away from them, which is kind of scary. The same like with composition, you can literally ask it to come up with lyrics to a song to sort of give you kind of a template for sort of a composition to write. Or it can generate literally a whole bloody song itself. It's kind of scary, but yeah, there's a big worry about AI kind of taking out creativity in the world. So we mustn't lose it. We've got to keep it.
Even though I know AI is getting better and better all the time, I still think that no matter what, it can never compete with the actual soul that people put into things, because a song is living and breathing, for example. AI is not. And even if they can put on a really good facade of, yes, I am living and breathing, I think at the end of the day, people can recognize it. And I'm not saying that it can't be a bop, because I'm sure it can be, but where that real soul connections, where you feel like the artist understands you, and that piece of music that comes and it gives your soul a hug and it takes care of you and puts your heart back together. I don't know that can be replaced. Maybe it can at some point, but it's definitely not there now.
Currently. Like, give it 5 years. I don't know.
Yeah,
scary.
I know, which is scary. And I think that's too why we always have to still, get out, support your local bands, listen to new music, look at different artists, blah, blah, blah. Look for this stuff and find the real people that you're like, this feels like it's for me, and go for it, right?
I literally saw a reel today about sort of why the live music industry is dying, at least like on a grassroots level, sort of all these venues are shutting down. And it's like people aren't going out of an evening because they have other sources of entertainment, mainly being sort of video games and stuff like that. And that this technology sort of getting to a level where people are becoming, hermits and like staying at home, and they don't need to go out on a Friday night to have a fun time, to have an entertaining time. It's all there at home. And that's sort of a major contributor to the dying music industry, in that you've got one level of it where you've got BBC introducing rewarding an AI artist, and you've got the other side of things where people don't want to, or so there's two takes on that side. We've got people, just the economy, people can't afford to, but you've also got people can afford to, but just don't need to go out and don't need to go and see a band for entertainment anymore, which is a real shame. But it's people who can. I plead to you, go and support your local music venues, because they're shutting down left, right and centre, and it's really, really real shame.
I mean, I think we'd have to have a whole other episode to go through all of that, because honestly, I have so many thoughts about it. I mean, if we're talking about our local venues, you know, what are we looking? 10 to 35 pounds a ticket, maybe. And I'm sorry, but these people that go, oh, I can't afford to go out, they're still off drinking pints at their local pub.
Like, you
so
can
you can.
Not drink, I suppose.
You know, I think it comes down to priorities, and I'm not like, I know there are people that literally cannot afford either, right? And I'm not saying anything like bad about that, and I get that.
There's so many factors to it, but yeah, the majority of money, I suppose, into the music industry comes from like merch sales, and then people buying drinks at the venue is not even just the ticket to get in, and that's why like tickets are so cheap for these grassroots tickets. It's like £6 to go, £6, but it's because they take the chance on it that you paid £6 to get in, and now you're going to spend money on like probably double
buy drinks, you're going to buy merch.
Exactly. But then that goes,
of course, and
so it's good way to get someone in.
There's so many pieces of it, and it depends on the size of your band, and it depends on the venue. Some of them are not great at even announcing the fact that there's a show on. So there's those kinds of problems too, right? There's doing social media campaigns for bands for their tours and booking for people. Oh yeah, I definitely know the struggle on both fronts, and it's just, I think a lot of people have just devalued music. Yeah. And I think that they don't appreciate everything that goes into it, and it's not just the recording costs, right? There's so much that goes into making music. It's very expensive to do. I mean, it doesn't have to be, but it can be. It often is. Even if it's just renting recording space, right? So yeah, like I say, there's a kabillion things that are wrong and fucked up about it. Yeah. And, people have to really come together and be like, I do love music. This is how I'm doing my part. Hey, friends, come do your part too, because that's how we keep it alive, right?
I think there's also an element of it is where if you wanted to find a new band or sort of just listen to some new artists, you had to go out to a festival or go out to a local show to find someone, like listen to the support band, things like that. But now, like with streaming services, every single band, every single music is at your fingertips. You don't have to go somewhere to discover someone new. You can just watch it on YouTube. You can just stream it and establish if you like it or not. And I think there's so many artists where I wouldn't have gotten into them unless I had seen them live. I know, like with Mum, that's definitely the case as well. In that, there's just something about seeing them live makes you enjoy it that little bit more, or I don't know, just connects with you in some way that then makes you enjoy the music so much more, and they become one of your favourite bands. Or that's probably another contributing factor. I don't know, that's probably before I think, unfortunately. This is the internal streaming all my life.
I think that's part of like devaluing it though, right? Because it's accessible. In the past, yes, you'd either go to shows, you'd have to buy an album, invest in it that way. And I mean, I know there were listening booths and blah, blah, blah. And I mean, radio, I would say, used to be better. And I would say that you don't have to commit anything to it now. It's just kind of like, sadly, it's kind of like a one-night stand.
It's that whole sort of investment. I remember when I was like in my early teens, like when I was first sort of really getting into music, I had £10 a month pocket money, and CDs tend to cost £5.99. So I could buy one CD a month, and then that's what I would listen to along with whatever I already had in the collection, but that's what I would listen to for that month, was one album. Or, you know, like I didn't have loads of stuff to listen to because I could only buy one. I did so much sort of research and like listening to YouTube or watching people's reviews and stuff on YouTube. I used to watch that, trying to discover new people's. If they were saying like, oh, if you like this, you'd also like that. And there's so many ones who I've got like deeply into. There's sort of where I know almost like the whole discography, because you can just sort of listen to one song there, one song there. You buy the album, and therefore you know every song on the album. And then I really like that. I'm now going to go and buy another album, and then you just end up learning the whole discography. Whereas I've really struggled to sort of deeply get into a band since streaming started. I certainly don't know any bands on sort of the deeper level like I do sort of the bands before I got Apple Music. And I think I'm responsible for all that. Like, if I want to know a band's whole discography, then that's my own doing. But there's also like so many artists where I love them, and because I've got so much more to listen to, I don't give it the listening time. I can listen to it as much of whatever I want to listen to. And there's like one favourite album I've not listened to for like a year because there's so much more to listen to. So you don't sort of get that sort of deeper connection. I don't know, there's something about like holding it in your hands as well. Sort of you put the thought and you've made the effort to go out to the record shop and buy it. It's sort of a less deep connection these days.
I think that's totally true with buying tangible CDs and vinyl. It feels so much better. And yeah, I'm still an avid collector of both, and I think it's really, really important that you do. I also think too, because we're getting so busy and everything is go, 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 you really have to sit down and schedule that listening time, right? You want to read the liner notes. You want to get lost in it. I can't name the members of new bands like I used to because, you know, and mostly when I'm streaming, I put on my liked, I'm listening to whatever and I'm like, I like this song, cool. I usually just listen to liked songs. I don't even generally listen to full albums, which I'm trying to change. I listened to a full album today. Go me. But yeah, it's like there's so much to keep track of.
Because I'm trying to think of like where you hear one song because it's suggested to you. So like the algorithms suggested a song to you and you go, wow, I really, really like that. So therefore you go, I think I've just found my new favourite band, so I'm going to go and listen to everything. And then the next thing plays and then you've forgotten about it. And it's then hard to find it, I suppose. There's just so many where I really genuinely love these new artists and don't have the time to listen to them because there's so much I like. Or it's just like just life is busy that you just don't have that time to sit down and listen to. It's just stuff on in the background. You can't give stuff the attention that you used to put on an album, and therefore you like gave it the attention, or at least sort of that one thing was in the background.
But I guess what people should be turning their attention to
nice segue.
Thank you. Is the fact that Immy just joined Joan of Arc. Now you're playing bass for them, right?
Yeah.
So I was listening to them today, and holy shit, extremely cool. So do you want to tell me, they were holding auditions, right? And then you went for it, and they were like, we love this Immy girl. Totally creative, totally talented. And then they took her on. That's my version. Would you like to tell us the whole actual version?
It's not far off, to be honest. Amber tagged me in their Facebook post saying that they were looking for a new bass player. I was like, oh, that's tempting. And then kind of, brushed it off. I was like, oh, it's a pipe dream. And then my friend Sam Wood also tagged onto it. He's like, yes, you should apply. I'm like, oh, Sam Wood told me to apply. I'm going to apply. Okay. I actually really, really like this music. And sort of obviously I'm paying particular attention to the bass lines, and so many bands who have been like, oh, we're seeking a bass player. I listen to their music and I'm just not excited by it, in that I'm not excited by the bass part because I don't want to be bored, I suppose. I don't want to just play the root note. I want to start sort of doing little shreddy bits, sort of join in with the guitars, or sort of have that sort of really good bass lines. Something a little bit meatier than just some root notes. And this had all of it. Like, I could hear sort of the same influences as I had in those bass lines. Just genuinely really loved the songs. So I thought, okay, fine, I'll apply. I like it. So I sent an email, and then we sort of have a bit of back and forth exchange, sort of thinking like, how does this like logistically work? Because I've got like a full-time kind of quite intense full-time job. So I can't just, drop everything and go on sort of like a 2-week tour, for example, which is where sort of I've had to like turn down other opportunities because I just can't commit, which is a real shame. But they also all have full-time kind of high-power job, or sort of restrictive jobs at least. So I was like, oh my God, that works. Like the weekend warriors, someone put it the other day. It's like, that works perfectly for me. It's sort of a band who's sort of established enough, have like a couple of albums out on the scene, so they're getting like festival plays. Plus, I really like their music. Plus, I really like the bass lines. I was like, okay, fine. I'm really, really excited by this. I'm going to apply. So I go, can you send us a video clip of you playing Silver Sun? So I listen to Silver Sun. I start trying to play Silver Sun. I'm like, I can't play this. Like, it's too difficult. When I was like listening to those bass lines, I'm like, yeah, these are interesting. Like, I want to play them. I'm like, didn't sort of anticipate to the point where they're so good, I can't play them. So I practiced and I practiced, and I practiced my little fingers off, gave myself a massive blister on one of my fingers. I practiced so much. And I found something in my head suddenly clicked and I could do it. I just could, it was literally like an overnight type thing where like I couldn't play it one day, the next day I could play it. So like keep practicing, and I video it and I send that in, and then they say like, oh, can you come for like an interview? So I had an interview to sort of establish like if we actually get on, because that's way more important, if anything, is if we actually get on, literally like fry with laughter with them, which is a lovely position to be in. And they say, can you come to an in-person audition? So I go to an in-person audition in Peterborough. So that's like 3-hour drive from me. Like, it was dedication to go there. I turn up with my tiny little practice amp because I don't have any gear at all. I'm just like, I'm a bedroom guitarist. Don't play it. I just need a little practice amp. So take my little practice amp and we play them through, and it all went well. And they say, would you like to join our band? And I say, I'd love to join your band. And that was it. So I thought they were going to have like some other people at that in-person audition, but apparently it was just me. And they kind of already all agreed that they wanted me before the audition, which was lovely. They just kind of wanted to see if they liked me, I suppose, in person, and whether I, lived up to actual sort of expectations with the playing front, which fortunately I did. But boy, I had to work for it. I really had to work for it, which I think makes the whole achievement feel better because I had to put in that work. It wasn't just something which came easily. I had to go through some hoops, but also had to put in a lot of practice into it. And then, obviously now learning the whole set list, I'm like, okay, but we're there now. We are there now, but it took some effort.
Okay, so they are kind of a mix of a whole bunch of genres, right? Punky, just good old rock, metal, all sorts of things, kind of.
I think they're wanting to go sort of a bit more of the like a heavier route, so it's like, I can help with that. I like my heavy stuff. That's maybe what makes it kind of unique for the band, is that not one song is the same. Like, they are all so different, but I mean, personally, I like all of them. So it also like makes it interesting, like what's everyone's like favorite songs, I suppose, because you can be like, oh, I personally do not like that one at all, but I love this one. I'm like, okay, no, that one's too heavy for me.
You're going on tour with them quite soon, right? And doing the Weekend Warrior touring.
It's the No More Masters tour. So that's a line from our new song, which is coming out next month. Got a new single coming out, but I'm not sure I can say more than that. But it's coming out, I think, the 27th of February. So quite soon. It's very exciting.
And then I know you're playing London, right? At the Cart and Horses. Is that right?
We are. Yeah, we're playing Cart and Horses on the 22nd of February. The night before that, we're in Anvil in Bournemouth, on the 21st of February. And then the weekend after, then we're playing Hitchin, Club 85. And then we're going to Wolverhampton, Manchester and Cambridge. That's the last weekend of March. And then we've got Just Push Play Festival in May. I'm really excited for that one because like some of the bands who like I love are also in that festival. So I'm like, pinch me moment. I'm on the same bill as Dan Byrne. How exciting. And we've got Destination Ford, even more exciting. Heat. Heat's are headlining that. And I've been a front row for Heat, being like, oh, Don Crash, hi. Now I'm like, oh, I'm going to play the same festival as him. So I need to keep my fangirling down, because I am now a musician, not a fan.
You can still be a fan. Musicians are fans too, though, so that's okay. You can be both. Just you don't need to take it like extreme fangirl edition, which I don't think you would anyway.
You know what I'm like.
That's okay. You're allowed to be, though. I do know what you're like, but you're not embarrassing fangirl, so you're fine.
That's nice to hear. Thank you very much. It's like what we said earlier. You say one tiny thing, or you think you do one tiny thing embarrassing, and then you just roll it over and over and over in your head, and you're like, God, I can never step foot outside my house again. I'm just too embarrassing for the world.
We know that's not true. So, Immy, if people are going to come check you out, where is the best place to find you?
My Instagram is at Immy Cliff Music. Then the Joan of Arc is Joan of Arc, or there's a Facebook page as well for Joan of Arc.
And we'll put the links in the show notes and everything. I know that I definitely have to get out to see you at Cart and Horses.
Nice to see you. Yeah, it's Mum's birthday as well, so I think it's going to be like a nice birthday party for her. So yeah, it'll be really nice to see you there.
I'm going to make that happen. So thank you again so much for being here today, Immy. I honestly am so proud of you. I admire you so much, and I just can't wait to see all the incredible things that you continue to do with your music career and just in life in general. You just kick ass.
Yeah, I'm definitely pinching myself a little bit. I think I've always wanted to be in a band, and now I am. So
yes, and a proper band.
Proper bands who actually, like, I am a fan of their music. So yeah, that is exciting. Very exciting.
I think you're about to make waves, though.
Hope so. I don't know. You just continue to
No,
put stuff out.
You know so. Again, thank you so much for being here today, Immy, and we'll talk to you very soon. Thanks so much for joining us on the Healthy Metal Hippie podcast. For more ways to connect, go to www.healthymetalhippie.com.